let's start where this fuss began. 2 Wednesdays ago, November 2nd, this young dame comes and knocks on my door, smelling like the morning dew. She looks sort of shaken. They always do. When she eventually settles, she tells me her name. Peggy Frost. She's one of the heiresses of the Frost Molasses dynasty. Her grandfather, Thomas Frost, the patriarch of their confectionery empire, just died on Sunday. The family doctor says it's another of his many heart attacks, but this time, fatal. Due to anomalous delays at the morgue, the family is still waiting for an official autopsy. But that's not why she's here. Shortly after her grandfather passed, a prized family heirloom vanished. A gift to her great-great-grandfather from the Duchess of Brunswick. It's been in her family for generations. But I digress. Here is where this case gets interesting. Then Peggy tells me I think I know who stole it. My half-sister, Ivy. Apparently, Ivy has always had big eyes and slender hands. Peggy figures she must have taken the jewel and fled, selling it to whichever corner shop would give her the best price. Alas, she couldn't confirm her suspicions, so she enlisted my help to get to the bottom of it. I set to work. I called a friend at the records office. I wanted to know everything I could about Peggy, Ivy, and the rest of the Frost bunch. What skeletons did they have in their closet? I wanted the grandfather's medical report. Anything I could find on file would be golden. This was a good start, but I sought more. Using the address Peggy gave me, I tailed Ivy for nearly a week, seeing if she was living some sort of lavish lifestyle. Whatever financial records I could get a hold of didn't indicate any new accruance of wealth, so I had to see if I could spot it with my own eyes. Then, one day, as I was beginning to lose hope, we accidentally crossed paths. She noticed my camera and garb and asked if I was a man of the law. I tried to dodge the question, but before I could, she uttered the queerest thing. She wanted to hire someone to investigate a missing family heirloom. She described the same missing jewel in the exact same way. She said her grandfather really started to lose his manner at the end, dementia and whatnot. He was on a lot of medication, and well, the jewel reminded her of the days before, when he still remembered who she was. She says she's sure Peggy stole it, because Peggy was always jealous of Ivy's lavish jewelry. She worries her half-sister may be trying to frame her for the crime. Peggy has been acting fairly suspicious recently. I was aghast. For the past week I was operating on this assumption, with no reason to postulate another narrative. Now, this alternate truth has been proposed, nearly identical in every detail and every motive. But the two driving roles are completely reversed. There before me was this new truth. I didn't know what to make of it, so I gave her my card and scampered away. And now I sit, pondering two possibilities, diametrically opposed from the other. In one story, Peggy the victim and Ivy the selfish villain. And the other, Peggy a scheming maniac and Ivy the shy do-gooder. But which is the correct one? Surely in this twisted web one must be the truth, or at least contain a shrapnel of it. I need a walk. I consistently find myself returning to these stories, but neither illustrates a full picture. Why would both ask me to inquire into the case and draw attention to their crime? There's something nagging at me. Something at the center of this case. The jewel went somewhere. It had to disappear somehow. But, oh my, that's it! I have to tell the siblings.
Mr. Wormwood, I came at once. What's the... Ivy? Peggy?
Yes, girls. I invited you both here. I've cracked this little caper of ours. This case, as bizarre and puzzling as it was through its many twists and turns, has finally come to its terminus. And I know the guilty party. It's no one.
No one? But how?
Let's start with more interesting inquiry. How did your grandfather die?
It was a heart attack, no?
Of course. That's what I thought too. I mean, the symptoms all looked like a standard cardiac arrest. But from what? He'd been taking all of his medications properly. There must be a more curious cause. His heart failed because of suffocation. He must have mistaken the small jewel for one of his many pills and accidentally ingested it. It wasn't his heart that killed him. It was asphyxiation and a punctured trachea. And once those strange delays at the morgue unclogged, you'll see that I'm right. And they'll find the jewel lodged in his windpipe. Which means the two of you did nothing of substance wrong. The greatest crime either of you ever committed was not trusting family. You see, you're not some vile arch-nemesis, just wary, paranoid sisters.
Oh, Peggy, I'm so sorry.
The Frost siblings may not be criminals, but I wouldn't say they're blameless either. Sweet girls, but still. Greedy, paranoid elitists at heart. That is more forgivable on the days when they write my paychecks. I guess no one's perfect. Ah, the youth. They both got so worked up about such dramatic, infallible fantasies. I guess in a world that seems so black and white, it's hard to find a little gray.